Are you guys looking at anything right now before we get into that and while we're waiting for them?
Not in particular, no.
Okay.
Yeah, so right now, I find, well, GJ's ranging quite a bit. I'm not really liking what I'm seeing, but I was looking at EJ. EJ's the only other pair that I'll trade.
Okay.
Right now until I get a little better with gold.
Okay.
I'll be right back. I got to get the kids some food here.
Yeah, I got you. Right. Yeah, so while he's gone, Rafael, is there anything that you have questions about? Is there anything before we get started?
No, everything is so far has been self-explanatory or
Cool.
very well explained. It's just about building confidence about, to actually take trades and stuff. So I'm going to be fully focused to see, how things go this session. So
100%. So how do you get that confidence?
I have to do things myself. Like I actually have to place trades. So that's what I'm going to be doing.
That's awesome. Yeah, confidence just comes from experience. Just, the amount of back testing that you're doing, the amount of studying of your journal, stuff like that, that's where it's all going to come from. So as long as you just keep doing that and not killing yourself every day, just staying consistent with it every single day, making sure that you're at least getting like an hour a day in. I like to have you guys like tell yourself, all right, this week I'm going to be back testing for 7 hours. I back test 7 hours this week. That's one of my weekly targets, right? So if you can't get it one day, that's completely fine. Just make up for it the next day, right? Okay. The only thing is you're going to start pounding that up, right? As you keep skipping, and you're not going to want to skip maybe the next week. So it's just something good to hold yourself accountable with and make sure that you at least get that in. That should be on your daily must list from the course.
When you back test, where do you start? Like what top do you do a top down?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. So what I use is Soft4fx. Do you know what Soft4fx is?
I've heard you and Sharma, mention it time and time again. So, but I haven't used it myself.
I call it Soft4fx, but it's really Soft4fx. So it's a simulator that I think is better. Do you have the rewind tool on here by any chance?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I think it's better than that. It's great to have this too, but the simulator is something where like you're watching every tick. It's like the live market. You have an account that you're growing. You could do anything that you want, especially the same exact stuff that you could do in the live market as well. But like I said, it's something that it costs money. It's only $100 one-time payment, but it's worth it. I attribute that to a lot of my success and my confidence in my two pairs. So just something to take a look at. I highly recommend it. I think it's a necessity, but that's up to you.
Sounds good. Thank you, man.
Got some people sleeping in this morning. So we'll get it going at like 6:45, all right?
How long did it take you to kind of understand, every single news event on Forex Factory?
So what you want to do is start like narrowing down on the main ones. So obviously, what would you say is the main fundamental for Forex? If you don't know, it's not a big deal. I just want to see if you know some of this stuff, and I'll just
GDP maybe.
What was that?
GDP maybe. Was it the GDP or wait?
That close. So
Oh.
GDP is the gross domestic product of any country. So that's pretty much up there. The main one though is interest rates. So that's the main thing that you want to understand. It's the same exact thing as like sales for earnings for any kind of company. Earnings is basically the same thing as interest rates. I would say not the same thing, but it's up there. It's the same echelon when it comes to like Forex and stocks. So interest rates is the number one thing that you're focusing on. So that's the one thing that you want to go back and back test first, right? Back test, the announcement of interest rates, especially this week. This week's going to be big, and we're actually going to do a full breakdown right now. What's up, Kat?
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. You?
Yeah, I'm great. Kat, this is Rafael from Texas.
Hey,
Rafael,
Rafael.
this is
Nice to meet
Kat
you.
from Miami.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
All right. So as promised, we're going to do a full breakdown right now. We were just waiting for a couple people to hop in, but we will get it done now. So how many of you guys know how big of a week this is?
As far as NFP goes, you mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we get a big week, whether it's NFP, whether it's interest rates right now, so many stats coming out this week. But we'll go over some of the stuff that happened yesterday. We'll go over some of the stuff that's already happened this morning, and then we'll get into what we're going to be expecting for the week. And then we'll obviously break down the chart. So yesterday we had a lot of stats come out, right? We had some CPI coming out of Europe. We did have the Chinese holiday. We're going to have it again tonight, I believe. Yes, tonight again. So don't expect too much stuff to go on during the two Asian sessions coming up the next 2 days. So, actually tonight, and that's about it. But yeah, yesterday we didn't have too much coming out. So yesterday was more of a slower day. Not many things happening. I was expecting that anyway, being a Monday and NFP week. With everything else coming out throughout the week, I was expecting it to be kind of a rangy day, but moving over into Tuesday this morning, everything that happened this morning, major PMI news came out, right? We had Spanish PMI, Italian PMI, French, German. We had, right, our Great Britain over here. Final manufacturing PMI came out. Prices are rising again for them, right? So again, PMI, for those of you that don't understand, just like CPI, PMI is Purchasers Managers Index. So this is what or Producers Managers Index. So this is what producers are paying. This is what business owners are paying for products, right? So what, especially in the manufacturing industry, that's what it's for. But what are they paying for products to actually like sell to clients? So that's extremely important to see their prices rising. Because when you see their prices rising, most likely at some point they're going to be passing the cost off to the consumer so that they can cover some of the cost. Does that make sense? Just like if you're selling some meat at the store, you're selling, 2.5 pounds of chicken for $9. The producer is actually paying maybe $6 for that, right? And now they're selling that for $9. So CPI, or basically, just so that you guys understand, the CPI would be the $9 and the PMI would be the $6. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. So that's what we're looking at over here. Prices are rising for them. Some of these other things having to do with real estate are up as well. Now, what we're going to be looking at today, we have our ISM manufacturing PMI coming out, and also JOLTS job openings. Do you guys know what JOLTS job openings is yet?
No.
Okay, so JOLTS job openings is pretty important because that is what tells the Fed, okay, how many jobs are available for our citizens to get? Are they actually getting them, right? So how many jobs are out there right now? So previous was 10.56 million jobs, right? So you had 10.56 million jobs available to fill. So the Fed who is now stimulating the economy, buying bonds, printing money to give out to unemployment, whatever the case may be. You have that happening. And now when they see that there's now more jobs available, but not as many people taking them, that means, okay, we can relax on stimulus. We can relax on stimulating the economy, right? And we can now start increasing rates. We can now start tapering on the bond buying. Does that make sense? So that's their pulse on the market as far as how many jobs are available. What's up, Carlos? Carlos, can you hear me?
Hey, what's up? Good morning.
Good morning, brother. How are you? How was your weekend?
All good. Really good. I'm
to
feeling
hear.
good.
to
Yeah.
hear.
How about you?
Great, man. It was a great little getaway. Carlos, this is Rafael. We got a new little family member in here. Rafael, this is Carlos from New Orleans, not too far from you.
Nice to meet you, man.
Hey, nice to meet you, Rafael. Where you from?
Austin, Texas.
Oh, sweet. All right, man. Good to meet you.
Likewise.
All right. So that was Jolt's job opening. So that's important to take a look at, those numbers coming out, because that's going to increase the speed at which the Fed wants to start tapering. And as you guys know, and as you guys have heard, the Fed is now more hawkish, right? It looks like they're going to be increasing rates in March. I'm thinking that they should be taking it easy. I am hawkish, but I do think that they should be taking it more easy. Instead of increasing rates by 50 basis points, I think they should be doing it by 25 at a time, right? Just so you don't shake up the market too much. 25 basis point jump 4 times this year, I think is plenty, right? So we'll see where we're going with that. But exactly, like I said, we'll see what they end up doing. Now, what we have also is New Zealand unemployment rate coming out. The only reason I'm pointing that out, I know you guys don't really trade NZD pairs, but the only reason I'm pointing that out is because we have a lot of unemployment data coming out. We have a lot of retail sales coming out. We have a lot of interest rates. We have NFP. We have a lot of things going on. But when it comes to Australia, maybe increasing rates, and also Great Britain, maybe increasing rates, 2 major banks here, them making their moves is based on other employment countries as well. Like Australia and New Zealand are very attached. So these are some things that if you want to take a look at, you can. It's not going to affect you too much, but it just shows like, okay, where's the global economy at? All right. So now what we have as well tonight is the Reserve Bank of Australia's Governor Lowe speaking tonight. So we'll see what he's going to be saying, probably ahead of them maybe increasing rates. We'll see. But moving into Wednesday, we got ADP, right? So that's our little preview of what NFP is going to be like, right? Non-farm employment change. So our previous was 807. They're looking at only 175 right now. So that's pretty interesting. So we'll see where that's at. Anything else in Wednesday? Also, Wednesday does have a bank holiday as well in China. So maybe, you may want to stay away from Asian this week. You're going to have plenty of volume during New York. So maybe just stay away from Asian, at least in the beginning of the week, and see what's going on over there. Moving into Thursday, big day for us. All right. So Thursday is monetary policy. So we may be getting some ranging and some not so favorable moves on GJ this week until Thursday, which, like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with weeks like this, because you're waiting all week for a move where everything's consolidating, and then that move ends up being a dud, and then you just lost a whole week on your pair. So whatever the case may be, we'll see what ends up happening with this. I think that they're going to be increasing rates. They do as well. Forex Factory has them increasing rates by 25 basis points, right? So that happening, we'll check it out on the chart. I'll show you what can end up happening from that. So that's something that you want to pay attention to. Also, Governor Bailey speaking right after that. So we'll see what he has to say 30 minutes after they possibly increase rates. We want to pay attention to the monetary policy, all that good stuff. Also, before we move forward, did anybody watch the breakdown that Sharma and I did last night?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So this is kind of repetitive.
It's
Sound like
okay. It's
broken, right?
good. I
Okay.
needed to like
It's
sync
good
it.
review.
It's
good
reaffirming,
review.
and also I think we like to get through those breakdowns quickly, just so that they're like a quick thing that you guys can watch. They end up being 40 minutes, but that's just us talking about the market. We can't help it. But the the thing is, like, I'm breaking some of these things down for you, and you guys have the opportunity to ask some questions and see, like, all right, what's Joel's job openings? What's some of the importance of some of these stats coming out? So that's why I'm doing this too. Now, also for the euro, monetary policy statement coming out. So we'll see what Lagarde has to say tomorrow, not tomorrow, but Thursday, right? Along with Great Britain. So after this happens, they're going to be speaking as well. Then right after that, we got unemployment claims coming out, right? So that's another big deal. Then after that, 10 a.m., we got ISM services PMI. So same exact thing as manufacturing, but now this is the services industry. This is hotels, that whole industry, right? Restaurants, all that stuff. And that honestly is like the heart and soul of the jobs in this country. Obviously, manufacturing, a lot of that has gotten shipped overseas, unfortunately. I don't personally agree with that, but that's where we're at right now. But services PMI, that's something that we're going to be paying attention to. That's a pulse on our economy itself. Another bank holiday coming out of China, so I would stay out of Asian session unless you get that perfect break and retest, candles closing in your direction, everything that you're looking for. Moving into Friday, big day, NFP, right? Unemployment rate as well. Average hourly earnings, Canadian unemployment rate as well. Broadband speaking tomorrow, Friday as well, 7:15 a.m. So we could pay attention to that for GJ. But we have a lot of stats coming out this week, right? 2 countries possibly increasing rates. We'll see what ends up happening, but we got a lot of stats before that as well. But looking into here, final manufacturing PMI prices has raised for producers, right? So just keep that in mind. We'll look over at our terminal over here as far as pre-market data. Looking at the Dow right now. By the way, Raphael, this is teletrader. This is completely free if you want it. I sent the link in. Actually, you know what? Let me put this in. Is it in links? Nope. All right. I just sent teletrader into the links and discounts channel, so that you could take a look at this. This is typically like a very expensive terminal, but it's not. It's free. This is something that people normally pay a lot for. Normally, you would have a lot more news, like as far as like Reuters Icon. Reuters Icon is something that you'll pay like $900 a month, or the Bloomberg terminal, something like that, $900 a month, and that gives you news before it comes out on Forex Factory. It gives you little things that people are saying and doing that really you wouldn't be paying attention to, and it's almost like set up like tweets, like this is happening, and it's like a live feed. That's something that you can work towards and write down. Like, I want to be able to afford something like that, because that'll give you a upper edge in the market if you're disciplined, right? Not going to be you're not going to be much better of a trader unless you're disciplined with that thing. So looking over here, the Dow for the day is down a little bit in pre-market data. NASDAQ is recovering a little bit, right? We're up 5.5% for the week. So that's great. Started Monday, kind of in that recovery over here. And it looks like all our indices, not that a lot of these are too important to us, but it's good on the global sense for you to get used to it. But right over here is what you want to be looking at, these 4. Right? We got Dow, NASDAQ, S&P 500, and then the UK 100. Raphael, what pairs do you trade again?
GJ and gold.
Okay, well. Cool. So again, UK 100, the FTSE right over here. That's something that you want to pay attention to. So for the week, we're up with a lot of these indices over here. So that's good. Just a good idea to keep your pulse on the market. Also, if you guys want to take a look at the currency strength meter over here on baby pips, this gives you a good idea as well, right? Vakil has his Chinese indicator, so this is kind of similar. We use the same exact thing, but I've been looking at this one. I like the aesthetically pleasing baby pips over here. So as you can see, the dollar is very weak today, but we are still in an overall uptrend. People reinvesting into the world business currency right now. So you see other inverse currencies like GU on the downside. You see Euro USD on the downside because you have the US dollar strengthening because they are pricing in some rate hikes. So let's get into our exciting part. Obviously, a lot of you guys are mainly technical traders. I as well, but we're getting more and more into fundamentals ourselves. So looking over here again, you guys saw that breakdown. So this is going to sound a little repetitive, but what I have is our skeleton over here. I like to keep some of these higher time frames marked off. So we have our multi-year downtrend that we're meeting up with right now. We're kind of breaking right now and trying to break that area and continue bullish to retest previous highs over here. But right now we're struggling in this area. Meeting up with that area is the recovery from COVID. Right, we have our tank March, April 2020. Right, price comes all the way down to 124 and then starts hiking right back up, creating higher highs, higher lows, all the way back up to 156, which if you guys remember, we were waiting for this to happen. We were trying to bring price right back up to previous highs over here after holding these lows and continuing right back up. Right, I actually know somebody that was in GJ and swung it from like 134 somewhere around here all the way back up to 156. So that's something that it's almost 2,000 pips that you guys want to look at and back test, journal it, and understand the fundamentals, because he understood the fundamentals at the time of what was happening. We're in a market recovery. We failed to break previous lows during COVID over here. We never broke the lows from Brexit, and we never broke the lows from the 2008 market crash over here, right? COVID just had this little blip, and then we've been in this market recovery ever since. So that tells you that central banks really had a big part in this, right? Because they just started flooding the market with money. They started flooding the economy with money, global economy. So again, we reached 156 up here. And just to understand what happened over here on some of these moves, reach 156, retrace right back up to candle body highs over here, our previous resistance, held support. We had the sentiment that they were going to increase rates in November. Price pushed all the way up to 158 up here, right? And then buyers cashed out, right? We started to retrace a little bit. The monthly actually ended up closing below 156. And then in December, actually, no, before that, they ended up not increasing rates in November. That was a big surprise move. So it brought us all the way back down, corrected this whole move. This is why fundamentals are so important to understand why these things are happening. But corrected that entire move, brought us right back down to 149. They had the surprise rate hike in December, pushing us right back up to 158, right? And then now those buyers are cashing out a little bit. We had that really a lot of fear in the market, whether it's COVID, whether it's what's going on in Ukraine, stuff like that, whether it's inflation, whether it's Boris Johnson getting the boot, possibly, right? All those things happening. Global equities on the downside, we almost lost 10% on NASDAQ. I think we did lose 10, 15% on NASDAQ, which is almost the most since 2009, or 2008. So that's pretty alarming. So that's going to shake the market up a little bit. And that's what we ended up getting over here. So the monthly ended up closing a weak bearish candle, but we did close below 156, right? So now we're below 156. What are we going to end up doing over here? Are we going to hold this as a support? Are they going to increase rates? And we're going to jack ourselves right back up to 158 and continue through, right? Moving into the weekly now, we'll mark off some of our stuff over here. Is anybody unclear about what I'm talking about? Got Mr. Chris coming in. Oh, man. So I like to mark this up because I know we're going to end up adjusting this up to these wicks, because on the lower time frames, obviously these are, resistances on the lower time frames. Kat, is it getting more clearer for you as far as like breaking down from the higher to the lower? We were trying to actually do that yesterday during the session to kind of explain it.
Yeah, I think when price is somewhere in the middle, like where it is right now, that's actually where I get the most confused, but I'm trying to like narrow it in a bit more and conceptualize it, because it's like kind of ranging at the moment, like in between daily levels and like 4-hour levels from the ones that I've marked off at least. So we'll see. But yeah, it is.
Absolutely. And listen, Sharma and I are going to do our best to keep walking you through this. It's just so that you understand it, right? So on this current weekly candle, then actually, let me break this down, then I'll ask you this question. So as you see, we're rejecting 158 up here, right? Holding a nice resistance price, very similar price action over here. Am I correct? Doesn't have to be the exact same, but it's very similar over here. So now what we just ended up getting was a bearish close, strong bearish rejection. Candle never passed the high of the previous candle up here. We ended up flipping bearish, passing the low of this candle over here, closing a very strong candle right here, right? The only thing is we closed with no bottom wick, or barely a bottom wick at this level right here, right? So what happened? This candle passed the low of this candle, right? Came into this area, flipped bullish, retraced back to this area, and closed bullish like this. So this candle has no bottom wick, and this candle's closed bullish, rejected, nice rejection wick. This candle ended up passing the high of that candle right over here, right, to start the week. So, Kat, with this candle right over here, what do you think this candle is doing on the lower time frames? Like once we get down to the daily and the 4-hour, like you have the top wick up here, which obviously, as you know, it never created a bottom wick first. So we ended up pushing up here. Now that it's retracing past the low, back below this wick right over here, what is this candle doing on the lower time frames?
Rejecting that area.
Cool. And what is it forming?
What is it forming? Like a higher high?
Is it, well, actually a lower low if we're in this downtrend, but is it forming a support or resistance?
Oh, like up there, it's forming resistance.
There you go. Exactly. So we're now meeting up with, I believe, a key area in the lower time frames that we're now going to break down. So also keep in mind, we have like 156 right up here. So looks like we're starting to approach it. But, I think a lot has to do with those interest rates on Thursday. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. We could end up ranging until then, but we'll see. But just keep in mind, this current weekly candle will actually do what Sharma likes to do. I actually picked up on this. I like this, but she'll mark off the high and the low of the weekly candles right over here. So it just gives you an idea once you break down to the lower time frames where the high and the low of the weekly candle is. All right. All right. Before we move forward, what's up, Chris? You there?
On that note, by the way, that's actually one thing that's like helping me keep myself narrowed into price, like by doing that weekly thing that you mentioned just there.
Oh, that's I figured it did. That's why I brought it up. I actually like it. It makes sense.
What's up, Steph?
Oh, there we go. I was just typing in. I don't know if you could hear me.
Yeah,
I like the background.
Appreciate you. How's everybody doing?
Good, you?
Good. Thank you.
Chris, we got a new member here. We got Raphael.
What's up, Raphael? How you doing, man?
Hey, Chris. Good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, man. Welcome to the family.
All right.
Let's work.
Word, baby. So anyway, coming down from 158 up here, right? We've been in this downtrend. We can all agree, right? Creating lower lows, lower highs over here. Now we created this new low right in this area, which we'll mark off. Right? And now we have that rejection of this area up here. right? Strong bullish candle over here, creating higher lows, higher highs. We could very well come up and fill that wick, but we'll see what's going on the lower time frames. But we tested this area, right? Now we ended up holding a higher low in this area as well. And now we're starting to push up, creating higher highs, higher lows, right? Pushing up, and we'll start marking off the trend as we get lower in the time frames. But as you can see, we're in this bearish trend, holding support. Now let's see what's going to end up happening in this area. All right. So now we were just respecting this downtrend over here, right? As you're seeing, lower lows being created over here, or lower highs being created, and then new lower lows coming right back down to this area. Now we are respecting a bullish trend, right? But we're very choppy in this area right now. And as you can see on the lower time frames, now that we're getting down to the 4 hour, what you have is an area that we were creating higher lows, higher highs, pushing all the way up. And now we finally reached this area up here, right? Creating that resistance. And this is what I was talking about, Kat. This is the resistance, which is the top wick on the weekly, right? Mm-hmm. As you can see these closes. So now what we had before we got this was a resistance. And that resistance is a previous support, right? So we ended up getting kind of like a fake out over here because price pushed up, closed right back into the range with this candle, and now we're kind of ranging in here, right? So could we be just coming down to retest this area before continuing up to fill that wick? We have a support right here that price is respecting after this bullish candle. You had this bullish candle as well. This candle rejected it also. These are 4 hour candles. So this is a strong support that we'll look at on the lower time frames. But right now, this is starting to look to me like a no trade range. And where would you guys say would be safe sells? This is actually the start of the week.
I would like to see safe sells below like 154, 200.
There you go. Awesome. There you go, Kat. So we get the fake out over here, right? We're still in a bullish trend. We're still respecting this trend. So you're not going to want to take any sells yet. There's no safe sells yet. We're sitting inside this range. So safer sells, I think high risk, high reward sells will be below the support right here. Safer sells will be below market structure once we start to break this area. But that doesn't mean you can't trade in this range. We'll take a look at it in a second, right? But right now we're starting to flirt with this 200 EMA, the 10 EMA, the 50 EMA, which we're below right now, right? And it's holding its support, but we're starting to meet up with this 200 EMA. So are we going to start turning the corner here and continuing down, especially if they don't increase rates? We could very well continue to consolidate in here, but I don't think we're going to do that until Thursday. I think we may get some movement, but and they may try to price things in the closer we get. But you know, I wouldn't be too antsy. All right, looking at the 1 hour now. So now, as you guys can see, I want you guys to stay calm and not trade in this too much. Make it visual for you guys. I would stay out of that. It's a mess right now. Everything is sideways. There's no clear direction, right? Clear direction is once we hold support here and continue up to break this resistance over here and continue up. But as we see in the 1 hour, we are holding this support. We rejected it twice. Price came all the way up to this area, rejected this previous resistance, right? So this was the retest after the fake out, which is right up here. Price is now consolidating. We hold this low. We come up to retest that area. It looks like we're starting to push up, right? And start to break that resistance to retest the high. But no, we rejected it. That's why you wait for candles to close outside of that range. You wait for like a bullish candle right here before you take this. Right. So now that we're looking at the previous candles, breaking down the anatomy of these candles, this candle is a strong bearish candle, but guess what? No bottom wick. Right. So it's kind of similar to the higher time frames over here where this candle came down, retested this area over here, right? And now it's starting to flip bullish. Right. So are we going to hold this as a support and start to drive up again. And we'll see if we possibly have a move in here for any kind of scalps, but so far it does not look like it. All right, 30-minute so far is holding this support over here again, right? We held this support over here. Is price going to hold the support and continue right back up to 155 and retest this resistance over here? And is this a trade, a range that you guys want to trade? Is anybody looking to trade inside of here, or are you waiting for a certain level to break?
Yeah, waiting for certain levels to break.
Cool. And which is your range, Carlos? What's your key range that you're looking at?
Me, personally, like if I was looking for buys above since, and then sells will be under 140 500 154 500.
Okay, cool. I didn't hear that first price. What would you say about buys?
Oh, buys will be right there above the resistance, above 155.
155 flat. Okay, so you
Yeah.
got that psychological level right there, and that's what you're waiting for price to break, right? Nothing in here attracts you, correct?
Nah.
Okay, how about any of you guys? Anybody else looking for like a support right here to retest this high, or are you just looking for a price to break this?
I'll send my chart in.
Beautiful. Yeah, if you guys can send your chart, it gives me a better idea of, you know, where you guys are at, what you guys are thinking, and that helps me help you. So right now, price is just sitting right in this range over here. As you can see, the 15-minute, we just got this candle closing bearish, but with no bottom wick. We got this doji candle. This candle looks like it's going to fill that wick right over here. So are we going to reject this trend line once more, right? We've been respecting it, all right? Now we're starting to bounce off of it. So are we going to respect that and break this resistance right here? I'll be right back, guys. I'm just going to use the bathroom, then we'll break down gold. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Before moving on to gold, we're going to check out on Cat's chart. All right. Like it. All right. We got 155 marked off over here. You're waiting for that close and break and retest, or you were just waiting for a close above to retest 155, 134 or 334.
Sorry, for which one?
I was saying for buys. So the first buy scalp, the first range that you have marked off here,
Oh,
33
okay.
pip range. Are you looking for just a close above? Or are you looking for a break and retest?
Probably a close above, like depending on the time that it is, I guess. If
Good
it's
shit. There you go.
not such high volume, then break and retest for sure.
It's a great answer. So if you get that close above, you get a bottom wick formed and it passed the high. If you have volume at that time, 8:30, right? 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock. Any of these like high volume price pushes, you could get that just close above breakout trade, right? If it's in a lower volume time, right? Like maybe even right now, because we're waiting on interest rates. Now you can wait for that break and retest and continue up and be selective with that. You got a 33 pip range, but if you see a setup, really depends on the setup. That's the best answer. But also it's just like the volume too, which is also a great answer. But depending on the setup, maybe you could grab this impulse entry right back up to this area right over here, where you have these wicks and then this wick right here, right? Maybe we get a nice little push right up to that area. And then you could close most of it, wait for the retest, stop loss at break even. And if you get stopped at break even, but then you get a nice perfect retest, maybe you could take this again to continue right back up. But safer buys, as you see, Cat has marked off over here in this area. And then also you're waiting for price to break this market structure over here, hold this fake out, start to break this market structure. You don't want to trade in here. Actually, you said scalp. So, okay. You do have a clean range from here right down into here that you could be trading. Right? But under that, you're looking for safe sells, which I like. Beautiful. Great chart. Easy to break down. I like it. All right. So now we're rejecting this area again on GJ. It's not like we're holding, I mean, we still are holding a support here, but this candle is not coming up to fill that wick and continue up. I was going to say maybe you could grab some buys once we close above this area, but I would really kind of stay out of GJ. Everything is sideways right now. Moving over to gold now. Gold again, new month, right? We ended up closing below 1830 once again. How many times have we rejected 1830? How many months? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 7 months in a row just rejecting this area. So I think it's safe to say 1830 is a strong level that we're looking at over here. Now we also have this level of 1760, 1750. Down here at 1723. Some of these levels over here we're going to be taking a look at. But let's actually go down to the weekly now to see what's going on. Just a major range, right? Everything sideways, no clear direction. We are meeting up with this trend line once again. So, so we get that. We get that touch over here. And then we get the third. So nice supply zones pushing us right back down below 1830 over here. So we actually just got a strong candle closing last week right at this level over here. And then right over here, rejecting this level as well. Right. So holding a support over here, this candle looked like after a strong close like this below these candle body opens and closes, this candle could have very well continued right back down. But don't be surprised if we get a nice pullback into this area to then continue right back down, right, before interest rates end up happening. Because when they increase rates, right, people are going to be pouring their money into gold, or not pouring their money into gold, but, gold's going to go down because you're going to have a lot of strong currencies. But over time, possibly we could rise if we have too hard of a hit on the market. So the initial impulse is going to be, all right, gold is going to continue right back down if central banks keep increasing rates, right? But if that impacts the market and the global market too much, you're going to see gold continuing right back up. I don't think that's going to happen too quickly, though. All right, looking at the daily now. Just adjust that. Yeah, OCD with my chart. All right. So anyway, we ended up rejecting this trend line over here, right? Closing below 1830, right? Continuing right back down. And then we came all the way back down to our area right over here of 1787, 1788, this previous support, resistance to this whole range over here, right? And then we ended up holding a support in these areas over here, right? And just pushing up from those areas. So we actually just got a nice bullish close right over here. This candle created a bottom wick past the high of that candle. This is what we broke down last night, because once you tapped into the 1788, 1790 area, price just ended up continuing right back up to 1830, right back up to 1830. So are we going to do the same exact thing here, or are we going to react to this level right here and then get the pullback to continue right back down? All right. All right. Looking at the 4-hour now. Price obviously bouncing off this level. You can see it even clearer, right? Multiple times. So now we're breaking this resistance, and we did last night over the London market right over here. So during the London market, the Asian market, we actually ended up breaking resistance over here and mirroring some of this move to continue up. So where's our next target? Where would, Chris, where would you say our next target is? What are you looking at? You're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
So I think 1810 is really strong.
Yep.
So I think around it may go up to 1810 and then reverse. I mean, I would love it to go back down to 1801 and, you know,
like
over time frame, create like some type of support.
100%.
So I can take it up back to 1810. But you know, it's moved so much in London. You know, I don't want to hop in it now unless it pulls back somewhere.
Yeah. So I just wanted to mark off this level over here of 1800, because this is a very strong level. If you look to the left, also psychological levels, 1800 to 1700, like that's a big range right there. So being a psychological number, like a very big whole number, price always struggles in that area. We always get a reaction to that area as well. So now we just ended up pushing through after rejecting multiple times. And I agree with Chris. This is our next level, right? We're just looking for the next level as scalpers, as price action traders, and looking at the candles, understanding the way they close and move. You're just looking for the next levels every single time price breaks out of a range. So this is our next one. 1810, very strong level as well. Price is now starting to come into that area. Now, we had a heavy drop over here, basically pricing in interest rates after Powell speaking last week, right? So is price coming up to this area over here, correcting only part of this move, holding resistance, and then continuing right back down to this support? It could be. So now let's go to lower time frames and see what we're working with. So we got the 1 hour over here. And also, we have this bearish trend that we're respecting. So right now we have that bearish trend, and we also have a bullish trend right now. So now we're starting to meet up in a key area over here, right? Could we be coming up? I'm bearish on gold, but as Chris was saying, could we be gradually coming up to get into maybe favorable sell areas to then continue down. Could we be coming up to retest? Like maybe we get like a fake out over here or retest of this area. If we break 1810, we come right back into here. You get the retest of this key area over here, resistance formed, and then you can take price right back down. You'll have safer sells below 1800 over here, but you could get higher risk, higher reward sells from right up here, or maybe right over here. We'll see what we end up getting. Everyone agree?
Yeah, I agree.
So everything really has to do with the data coming out this week. A ton of stats like we broke down, a lot of things that you want to be paying attention to. The main thing for GJ, or not GJ, but gold moving forward, like the main mover is probably going to be Joe's job openings tonight or today at 10 a.m. So we'll be looking at that when that comes out. Obviously, we won't be on the live stream, but we'll be looking at it in the chat to see what that's coming out as. And we may get, depending on how drastic this number is, also ISM manufacturing PMI for inflation data, but looking at Jolt's job openings, this is something that, is going to signal to the Fed, can we start tapering quicker now that we have more jobs that are available to the citizens of the country, right? If there's more jobs available, can people take these jobs? Absolutely. So maybe they don't need as much stimulus. They don't need as much assistance from the Fed and as much printing of money, because these people are just holding out of jobs because the government is paying them, right? That could be the case for, I'm not saying for every case, but many cases that could be the case where they're getting too much stimulus. They don't have to work. They don't have to take jobs because that stimulus is paying them more than the job is, which I don't blame them, right? If that's the case and you're making more from unemployment, is it a little selfish? Yeah. But you can't blame them. I blame the government for giving them too much money. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big number that you guys want to pay attention to. Something that also, if you guys want to back test, you can. And put this into your database. Like I say, go on to Google spreadsheets or Excel and look at some of these red folder events. Start with the red folders, go down to the orange folders and maybe some of the yellows, right? And look at these little folders of the event and see what's going on with them. Okay, what is this exactly? Then move into some of the history of the numbers coming out and see how price reacted on the charts compared to the numbers that came out, whether it was the same as forecast, whether it was more than forecast, lower than forecast, right? Understand what's best for that that stat coming out. So actual or greater than forecast is good for the currency. Some it's the opposite, right? So the more this is up, the more jobs are available, the more businesses are hiring, right? So that's good for the economy. So that's something that you want to pay attention to. And as you could say, it's really stable. Okay. Yeah, that's they're just explaining it right there. So that's going to be the next mover for gold, I would say. Right now, we are holding a little support. We ended up retesting this high up here. Right over here with this move, closed above it, come down and retest. Now we're holding support to continue right back up to 1810, I believe. There we go. So now looking at the 30-minute, we just got a bullish close right over here and a support held, right? So can this candle pass the high of that candle and continue right back up? Is that something that anybody is looking at? Looking at Chris.
It can happen, but no, I don't know if I want to take that. I'd rather, like you said, take a sell. If I miss it, if it doesn't pull back again and I miss it, I'd rather take a sell because it moves so much.
Okay. I like it. It really did. So you're looking for a correction of the London move.
Yeah, if I can't get another pullback, even to that zone now, another pullback on the lower time frames to, is that 1806 or 1805?
1808, right up here.
No, to go down to support.
Oh, 1805. Yep. 1806.
Yeah, we can get another pullback to 1806. Then I'll look to,
Okay.
take.
So as you guys could see, 1808, you have the previous body close right over here on the 15-minute. So not too strong, but we do see it rejecting over here, right? You have the deepest rejection of this bullish move, just about. I mean, you have some down here, but of this session, you have multiple rejections of this area over here, right? So far, we haven't rejected that area. So would you be looking for a close above this level, or would you look for a pass of these wicks to possibly continue up? Just be careful where you place your stop loss, because you could very well get that liquidity grab and then price continues right back up, right? I'm sure that's happened to you guys many times, just because you were afraid of missing this move. Now, what is this range right here? That's the first thing you got to ask yourself. Second thing is, right, is this worth trading in? Second thing is, where would my stop loss be? Same thing, as well as, is this a setup I normally see? Is this a setup I study on a regular basis? Maybe not. Maybe I want to stay out of it, journal it, right? And just watch what happens. Analyze, be a detective, practice and live back tests, right? If this is something you're not comfortable taking, you see this candle starting to pass the high. See, this is something you need, just like Kat was saying before, you need high volume for this to happen, for this impulse entry to happen. It's only 7:36. So is that a time that you get high volume on gold? Sometimes, but you're going to get like a quick volume push once we pass the high of these, and then we continue right back up to 1810 at this time before New York opens or the stock exchange opens? Probably not. This is probably where you want to wait for candles to close above this level, right? It's just pre-New York and it's only Tuesday before NFP, before unemployment, before interest rates, before all that stuff. So don't be too antsy. And that's why I wasn't too concerned about missing a session yesterday, because I knew we weren't going to get much of a move. Same thing with the previous week when we had, what do we have? NFP? Not NFP. We had interest rates for the Fed, and they didn't do much, right? So we were waiting all week for what? But during that week, it was just kind of like a dud, like nothing was going on. That's why you wait. You got to be selective over, when you trade. Same thing with like the days, right? You take Sunday, Monday, and Friday, and you lower your risk a little bit. Even if you're getting your setups, you lower your risk a little bit because the odds are against you for your trade possibly go, not against you. Obviously, you're always taking trades that you have the odds on your favor, but those odds are going to decrease on those days. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So that's what we're looking at on gold. We want to see price close above this level because you got about 20 pips up in this area. That price could continue right back into this range. Let's look at it on the higher time frames over here. So we did get a strong 30-minute close, but we did reject this level, right? 30-minute right over here just started. Are we going to pass the high of these wicks and continue up? That's the question. Or are we going to hold this resistance, get a fake out, and continue right back down to this level? As you can see, we're in this channel over here. So we're at the high over here. Could we be rejecting this level to continue down into here, hold support, and then continue back up? We're actually getting that push right now. Again, I would wait for 7:45 to see if this candle closes above. But you see how trend lines, like if you draw them correctly and you're not drawing them on every single situation that you could see, you're just waiting to see, if price is tapping at least 2, 3 times, 4 times, right? How valid is this trend line? Also, if you want and it makes sense to you, you draw the channel as well. And now you can see price tapping into this area multiple times. This may be the high, right? This is where you want to kind of Wait, actually, you know what? I want to bring this up. Hold on, I'm going to send you guys something while we're waiting for price action. This is something that can help you guys as well, whether you're trading crypto. I saw this. You guys know me, I'm not much of an indicator guy, but I want to send this because this is going to help you understand channels and how something is like kind of overbought or oversold. So I was looking, somebody sent this to me. This is the Bitcoin rainbow chart. So this will be good for you guys to understand like different places that you could buy Bitcoin, right? So every time it's in that blue, right? Basically a fire sale, right? Anything in the red, maximum bubble territory or sell, right? So price is coming up to these sell points, right? And every time it comes up to the red, you see we get a nice sell off to better higher demand or favorable demand zones. And then we continue right back up from this blue area or from the green area. Get what I'm saying? So it's the same exact thing in a channel using regular price action. Whenever we're at the high of that channel, the resistance of that channel, maybe we're a little overbought. Maybe we could come back down to a better favorable demand zone. Maybe this area right in here. Hold the support and then continue up. So we'll see what's going to happen over here if we end up rejecting. And if so, we may be able to play some sells right back down to this area over here if we break this support and we close below the support, close below 1860 right over here. If you guys want and you see price rejecting this area, and this is something that you're interested in taking price right back down to this support because you know we're going to reject it again multiple times over here, right? If we break the low of that candle, but this is high risk, high reward, right? Trading in here. Safer sells are going to be below this area to continue right back down into this whole range right here. Right? Makes sense?
Yes.
I bet so many people just got caught right here just from being impatient. This is what patience gets you. No losing. I mean, you're going to have losing trades, but you're going to have a lot less losing trades as long as you're patient. Does that make sense?
Right, like we're quite overextended.
100%. And then also, like, if you're looking at the 1 hour, we just got a rejection on the 1 hour right over here. So maybe we're retesting that wick. We fail to break it. This 1 hour candle starts to flip. This 1 hour candle also passed the low of that candle as well. So maybe we get one more rejection. Price continues below this candle. The next candle closes, or the next candle creates a top wick past the low of that one. And we can continue down into this area. Everything clear so far?
Yes, sir. For sure.
So you get about 35 pips if you get that sell right over here. But like I said, overall, price could be following this channel over here to retest this key area for the third time, hold resistance, and then we continue right back down, especially if we get some rate hikes. Because these are major banks. Bank of England, Reserve Bank of Australia, these are major banks. So if they increase rates, other, Canada, other countries are going to maybe be following suit. Same thing with New Zealand. So just something to keep an eye on. Go, we're getting another rejection over here. This looks nice. Now, I wouldn't get too antsy because what happens is, let's say we pass the low of that candle, and now we're just sitting in this range, right? What we can end up getting is a second tap of 1808. Right? And then what you get is that double top and price continuing right back down. And then this is your move right here into this area before price ends up holding a support, consolidating in here, and then we continue right back up. That'll be a nice demand zone that you could buy. Here we go. We just got a nice strong 15-minute close. That's why I said wait for 7:45. See what actually happens. Do we close above this level or do we close below it, which we just did? So I can actually see this candle creating a top wick, passing the low of that candle, and continuing right back down to the support. Chris, are you looking to trading in this range at all? Or are you waiting for a breakout? Chris is our guy on gold.
Now that you know, I've been seeing your thoughts, listening to your thoughts. I'm looking to trade. I would like to sell below 1805, not in that range that we in now. That range is a little scary to me.
So this is a no trade range for you.
Yeah, no trade range for me.
I like it.
Below 1805, I like it.
I like it. See, like when I tell you guys all individually, I tell you as a group too, but you want to be that go-to person for your pair, right? Not so much for the ego thing, but it's just like I know my shit. I put in the work. I know my shit. And Chris is one of those people that I know have backtested gold countlessly. You know, he's made good money from gold too. He's really turning the corner with his trading. But like that's someone that you can ask for his opinion on gold, right? So that's where you guys kind of want to be when it comes to your pair. Again, it's not so much the I'm the man, like I know gold, come to me, I know everything. It's not that. It's just it's more for yourself than it is for the whole ego thing. Of course, man. So like I said, I could see this candle creating a top wick, flipping bearish and passing the low of that candle. We're just going to lie back test this. Again, beginning of NFP week, you guys want to be calm. This is something I could see playing out. Put your stop loss right above 1807. Bringing us right back into this area right here. About a 1-to-1, 1-to-3, or 1-to-1, yeah, 1-to-1.3. So we'll see if that plays out. If this candle flips bearish. I actually don't even want to keep that right there. I just want to keep that there. Once it passes the low, we're going to lie back test that and see if we continue down. If so, that's something that you can journal, study, and see if it plays out again down the road. Maybe you can start taking that on the lower time frames. Let's actually look at the 5-minute over here. So the 5-minute, we had this support, and this is where some of these lower time frames come in. We had multiple rejections up here, right? And then we get this strong bearish close right below the previous 5-minute support, right? This candle comes up, retest that range, starting to flip bearish. What are the chances we continue down? You're always asking yourself, what are the probabilities of price happening? And actually, we were going over on our podcast the other day when we had Drew on, you want to look at a lot of things, especially if you have like high anxiety, look at a lot of things in your life with probability from a probability standpoint. Like, what are the chances of this happening? If you find yourself constantly telling yourself like the worst case scenario is going to happen, like without a doubt, right? There's a lot of people like that. And, I feel bad for someone in that position because I just couldn't imagine being like always looking for the worst, right? I have friends like that. And, to be honest with you, there's, I got my fiance, she has some anxiety when it comes to like, and it's not serious at all, but it's more of like, she's when something happens, she looks more towards like, all right, what's the worst thing that could happen? Right? It's just natural. I think it's very common for people, but you want to ask yourself, what are the probabilities of this actually happening? Right? If you're looking at the worst case scenario, and it's probably very low. So when you ask yourself that, I got that. I mean, I've always been someone that never really had anxiety, but now that I've been a trader over the past couple of years, I now look at everything with a probability standpoint. Not that, like I said, not that I really needed to, but it helps. And it's also just natural. It's just something like, as a trader, you're constantly looking at the probability of something playing out. Now it just carries off into your personal life, just like your personal life carries into your trading, right? You guys keep yourself fit. You guys give yourself a good physique. You're eating well. You're staying disciplined. You're telling yourself, I'm going to do something, and you do it. You're doing things when you don't feel like doing it. All those things translate into the market, I promise. If you haven't tried it yet, I highly recommend it. But I know all you guys are on that journey working towards it. So, Raphael, do you have any questions so far? And did I not introduce you to anybody that came in here? I think.
So far, so good.
Cool.
So far, so good.
Cool. So everything makes sense. All right. So as you guys can see, the 5 minutes starting to reject this area over here. 15-minute candle, looking like it wants to flip bearish. So we're going to see what ends up happening. Once it flips bearish and past the low of the next wick, we can move this thing over a little bit. But like I said, don't be surprised if you get like a support held here. We continue right back up here to retest this area once more, 1808, and then we continue right back down. I don't want to get caught in this range here. Check on GJ right now. GJ is now breaking that support and continuing right back down to 154, 500. Back to our support. What did we say? Save for sells, maybe below this area. Let's go to the higher time frames. See, now we're starting to reject this area. We get the fake out. This candle closed with no bottom wick on the 1 hour. This candle creates its bottom wick or top wick past the low of that candle, right? That's what I want to see normally. Again, this is no trade range. I don't want to trade in this, but when you get a bearish close like this, strong bearish close, but with no bottom wick, you need to wait for that top wick to form. And you don't want it to just be a quick top wick and then boom, we just pass the low. You want a nice long top wick in the first half of the candle. The second half of the candle, we end up passing the low of that candle. Then you could possibly enter this. Only thing is we have this support right here that you got to be aware of. Maybe it's not worth taking that impulse entry. But if you have a better range right here, maybe you could then take that. So now what we have is starting to break market structure over here. Right? We've been following this trend for quite some time. Now we're starting to break it after forming a lower high over here after the fake out. Price is now forming another lower high and breaking the bullish trend. So save for sells will be below 154, 500. So we'll see if we get that today. And even save for sells below 154, 200 right over here. Then we know price is going to be coming down a little bit. So what I think is happening is maybe we're pricing in, not pricing in, but we're grabbing liquidity before a rate hike, right? We're trying to get price into more favorable buy areas to then take price right back up if they do increase rates by 25 basis points. All right, we're starting up. There you go. This would have been our trade right here, but we're taking smart trades right now. We'll see how this plays out. Nobody's in this, right?
No.
Did that whole breakdown make sense, though?
Yes, it did.
Yes.
Awesome. Multiple rejections up here. Get the strong bearish close. You wait for this candle to create a top wick past the low of that candle. Wait for a high volume time around 7:45, 7:50, 8 o'clock. That's normally like the GJ time, but gold, you get those pushes too. So we're coming up to a 1-to-1. So us being in a it's not so nice, Chris. I didn't take it. So I appreciate it though. But we're coming close to, like, if you were trading in this area, you want to secure it like the 1-to-1, right? So right here, 73 pips or 7 pips really. We're getting close to that area. right? So this is right over here is where I would be securing like 80% or just closing the full thing. It's like, all right, boom, we're done. That was my target. I was looking for a 1-to-1 anyway, and we're out. And that's your trade. You got to know when to be in and out of the market. A lot of people, most traders would be grabbing this and only closing 50 here and just hoping that it breaks that support to continue down. And I'm sure that it'll happen, but at the same time, like you want to grab most of your profits. You want to be able to know when to leave a runner and when not to. So now what I'm going to be looking for over here is for this break of this support, we get that retest or a top wick formed and we continue down. Really based on it's really barring on the setup over here and the way this candle closes. We got about 4 minutes left for the 1 hour to close. So let's check out the 1 hour now. Beautiful, right? Candle created a top wick, passed the low of that candle, just like we were talking about. And now could we be coming down? This is going to be a range, 35 pips. This is a much more favorable range than you do have the 7 pip range right here, right? High probability setups. So let's see if we get that 30-minute close below support right here. So I know a lot of people are probably getting FOMO from this right now, wishing they took this. This is something, again, that you live back test and you journal and you take this maybe next time or after 3 or 4 times that you see it. But this is also good. Don't get too much FOMO because right now the 1 hour is about to close. So now we're creating a range for ourselves. We're creating this low, strong close below. You guys wait for this retest and then we take this trade right back down. Maybe this candle closes the way it does. We get this bullish close, this close right up here, and then you start getting this move right here. Wow, I suck at drawing. I have OCD. Now I have to make this perfect. Makes sense, guys? So this is the move we're looking to catch. Any FOMO, Chris?
No FOMO, just watching,
Love it.
trying to soak it all in.
There you go.
That thing was a nice move.
What's up?
I said it was nice though.
It was a nice move.
All right, Steph, actually have to go. So it was nice to meet everyone.
It was well, man. Great to have
Yeah.
you. First live stream
Likewise.
for you, and I'll see you tomorrow, all right?
Sounds good.
Oh,
right.
Quick update. So tomorrow is going to be a live stream with Sharma, 6:45
Okay.
Eastern Standard Time, all right?
Sounds good.
All right,
We'll be
buddy.
there.
Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah, he was the first person to show up on that first Zoom in a suit.
Yes.
You mean business?
Yeah, man. Not messing around. All right. So we're getting this retest over here. Nice strong close. Let's see how the 1 hour closed. Beautiful. Right. So could we get that top wick on the 1 hour? This candle flipping bearish when we take this move down.
Gotcha.
I'm not
Hey,
entering it.
Steph, I'm about to head out. I got to do pickup.
All right, brother. Have a great day.
All
All right.
All right.
I'll see you soon. Hey guys, I'm not entering anything. I'm just placing my magic keys on the chart. See what we end up getting over here. All right. 1 hour, creating that top wick. Beautiful. If this candle flips bearish, I'm probably going to be entering a dynamic risk. There we go. Further pullback. That's what we like. I'd much rather get, you know, a classic break and retest over here. Candles closing in our direction, but this candle has no bottom wick yet. Coming up to retest this area. We'll see what we end up getting. Ooh, that's the 200 EMA over here on the 30-minute, holding that support. I'll be honest with you guys. I do wish I entered like dynamic risk like a little bit up here when I was breaking this trade down, because I've seen this set up so many times. We see the channel meeting up, key area, previous support, now resistance, right? Price rejecting this area multiple times, right? We take this. This is our little setup right over here too. But we very well could have grabbed this on the 15-minute as this candle created its top wick past the low of that candle to continue right back down to this area. But that's okay. It's not real FOMO. It's just something that like I don't want to use the word disappointed, but it's something I've seen many times. I was just trying to stick to my rules and, you know, basically lead by example when it comes to that. Let's see the 1 hour close on GJ. All right, 1 hour candle closed bearish, kind of below this trend line over here. The next candle passed the low right away. So now we're sitting in this range over here. Maybe wait for a retest, but I would wait for a close below 154,500 to take price down. All right. Justin.
Hey guys, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good.
Doing well?
Yeah,
Awesome. You figure everything out with Cash App?
yeah. They told me it was a system-wide issue,
Okay.
and I had to buy $1 of Bitcoin,
Yeah.
and then they would reimburse me the dollar.
Mhm.
But everything's good.
Did you get my my little voice message about that?
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
All right, cool. Absolutely. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Even though it's not a big deal and it's really not even your fault, right? But like it's good practice for when anything doesn't go your way. And it's like, all right, I've got my practice with these little things. Now I can handle these big things a lot better because I know that like, all right, how am I handling this situation? Am I looking at it from this lens or this lens? And which lens is better to look at it from? Which perspective?
No, for sure. Yeah, no. I was with you 100% on that.
Awesome. So where are you at right now when it comes to like your trading and you know, is there anything that you're looking at right now?
I was looking at AUD JPY and NZD JPY, but I've been doing mostly swings, but I've been doing a lot more pairs, and it's really weird, but I've been having more success doing that
Okay.
than just concentrating on one pair. I don't know if I've just been paralysis by overanalysis with one pair or what, but I actually can't trade right now until my withdrawal request from the funding company is processed. So, and maybe that's standard or not. I presume it probably is, but in any case, I'm just kind of sitting on my hands today.
There you go. I mean, you could always trade like your own account, you know?
Yeah, no. That's what I did. I just I just did a smaller lot size is all.
There you go.
And so what's everybody looking at today?
We're looking at gold over here. Now, as you can see, what I think is happening, I'll give you a quick like rundown of what I'm thinking over here. So looking at the higher time frames over here on gold, we're now below 1830 again, right? We actually tapped this multi-month downtrend over here for the second time. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. See how we tap into it for the third time, creating a supply zone?
Yeah.
So we ended up doing that, right? And ended up getting a very strong close below support over here. Right below over here. This candle creates its bottom wick, starting to retrace. And we're reacting to our area of 1780, also 1790 over here, this support. So now price is starting to push up. We ended up forming a support over here on the lower time frames. We'll go back down to it. But right now we're starting to push up from that area. So we got a little bit of a fake out from the bottom portion of that area. And at 8 o'clock, we're just shooting up with the New York Open, right? So looking over at the daily over here, daily is at that high demand zone right in here. Every time price taps into this area, we get a nice bullish run. This may sound like a broken record to other guys, but it's all right. It's reaffirming everything. So now what are the chances that gold right now, after bouncing off that area, strong bearish rejection over here based on what was this last week, right? This was Powell talking about increasing rates, right? Being more and more hawkish. So that's what brought us right back below 1830. We could be getting this retest of somewhere in this area to continue down, or somewhere in this area. We get that trend line over here in the lower time frames. Starts really on the 4 hour. Right over here. So could we be coming into this area to hold a resistance? Better sell area to then continue right back down. Let's look at the anatomy of these candles now. The 4 hour candle created a bottom wick, and now it's starting to pass the high of this candle to continue right back up to possibly fill these wicks at 1810. That was our main target. Looking at the 1 hour now, we're sitting in this channel, well on our way up to this trend line over here. High area of interest for us to continue right back down if that's the case. And if we get some bank rate hikes this week, right? We got 2 of them coming out possibly. So if we get something like that, we could very well be continuing right back down from that area. So what I think is happening is we're getting into a better supply zone for price to continue right back down. So now what we just ended up getting, we called sells over here. After price rejected this area, we would have caught a nice little scalp over here, coming right back down to this area. I'll break it down in a second. But now price is just sitting in this range. But what did I say before that we could possibly get? What could we possibly get over here? Now that price rejected this area multiple times and price pushed all the way down here to create a low, could we be getting a double tap of this area to then continue right back down? Right? So could we get another retest of this area, another rejection, price holds resistance, and then we continue down from here so that we could get a better area to buy from, and then we continue right back up from this whole area right here. So what we were looking for, Justin, we were actually looking at this area. So we rejected this multiple times. I'll just break this down for you. Rejected this area multiple times, previous support to the left. Right over here, we get this strong 15-minute candle close below this wick right over here, right? We got this double top kind of happening on the lower time frames. But as soon as this candle creates a top wick past the low of that candle, this could have been a impulse entry, which is what we called. We just didn't take it because we wanted the price to break out of this range. Take this, secure at 1-to-1, maybe secure another time at this area right over here, and then let the rest run. I guess stop loss at break even, we would have gotten stopped out. So now are we getting that double top to continue right back down? Now what I was looking for was we get this low formed, right? Clean close below support on the 15-minute. Could the next 15-minute, which is the new hour, create a top wick on the 1 hour and pass the low of it and continue right back down into this area, where then we could possibly get some consolidation, and then we continue right back up. Makes sense?
Yeah, yeah. Well, because I forget, it was either last week or the week before when gold had its push up, and I was looking at sells at about 1840 because on the much higher time frames, it looked like it was in a downward trend, and I thought it might pop up, which it did, but I didn't execute just because I was like, I hate taking opposite momentum, even though if the charts support it, like,
Yeah.
So if you're, if it pops up but it's still kind of in the downward trend, I kind of like to wait, but
You want to wait for the resistance.
Yeah,
it
so
makes sense. You're trading with the trend. You're not trying to go against it. That's great. So let's see what this actually looks like on the lower time frames. There we go. We get that another tap of this area over here, and then we're coming right back below over here. Right? It's exactly what we said we could get. So now, how is this 15-minute going to close in 3 minutes? All right, is it going to close a weak bullish candle with this hard rejection candle? Next candle creates a top wick, retest this area, pass the low of that candle, and that's our setup. All right, Kat?
Yes. Actually, no. I got confused within my looking at this. I was like, is this maybe a retest to go back up? By the way, hi Justin. Justin and I were the ones back testing on Friday.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good
This is the same Justin, right? Imagine it's not.
Wait, I don't think I was back testing with you, Kat. I apologize.
No? Wait, aren't you in Sharma's group?
In whose group?
In Sharma's group?
No, I'm not.
Oh my gosh, another Justin. You guys have the same voice.
That's funny. he does have another Justin with the same voice, because whenever we do our like breakdowns or back testing sessions, he's stepping up and talking and stuff. So that's funny. I was gonna say I didn't think Justin was in Sharma's too.
That's too funny. But yeah, no, so I got confused because I was like, well, could this be like a retest to just kind of go back up? I think one of the things that I kind of struggle with is kind of going against the trend. For me, when I caught that bottom move yesterday, like breaking above the 1791-ish type level. So then for me, safer buys would have been above that 1796 kind of level, at which that point I would have like changed my bias, because I would have seen it as like breaking above previous my god, I get so confused, higher lows.
Okay.
Yeah. So so like right now I'm kind of pretty much bullish on this, of course with the exception of retracements, but I find myself getting caught up in retracements sometimes.
No, yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of like what Justin was just saying, where you're looking for, now you're just looking for supports to form to continue this right back up, right?
Exactly.
So everything really depends on where this candle closes, right? Could this candle close below this area? Could it close below this area, or are we closing above? And is this now a wick to fill, right? Is the next candle going to create a bottom wick, retest this area, flip bullish? Could we grab that move to continue right back up? Make sense? Or are we going to close below this level over here? Actually, 15-minute is should be closing. Where's that new candle at? There we go. All right, so can this be a wick to fill over here? That's a strong 15-minute close. 5-minute ended up rejecting. See, this is tough here. This could go either way, and that's where you really have to be mindful of what you're doing over here. Now, this candle ended up closing below this support over here. So could we get a top wick formed and this candle end up flipping bearish to continue down and retest that low? Maybe you'd rather wait for a bearish 15-minute close over here, because then the 30-minute candle will be a weaker bullish candle. And then, we continue down from here to retest this low and continue down into this area. So this is really just like a range that you want to be mindful of.
And there was no bottom wick formed. Would that also be something that kind of in the 15-minute?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first 15 minutes of this 1 hour candle or this 30-minute candle, we created this top wick over here and then retraced back down. This 15-minute candle doesn't have a bottom wick yet. This one doesn't either. And then on the 5-minute, we're just kind of ranging over here. I'm trying to figure out where we want to go. Like, we're passing highs and lows and everything's all over the place in this range. I think we're just grabbing orders to see where we're going to end up heading next. But the interesting thing is we're respecting this channel over here, right? And now we're bouncing off of it to get into, like I said, a more favorable buy zone to then continue up and retest that high.
Right.
Get what I'm saying? So it's like you're buying at a discount down here instead of just trying to get in up here. And you do have enough range to take those sells against trend right over here to bring price right back down to that area, because you're a scalper, right? You want to trade with the trend, but if you get your setups, right, going the opposite way and you have a big enough range to take price into that better, demand area or better supply zone, that's something that you want to be looking at. See, to me now, this was a little fake out. I just would rather get this bottom wick over here to continue up. But let's say what we get over here. We also have ISM manufacturing PMI coming out at 10 o'clock. Where are we? Yeah, and JOLTS job openings, right? So what we could be waiting for is we could be ranging in this area, get that actual double top. Like, I know I said this could have been it, right? Where we ended up rejecting this area multiple times. We come down, create this low. We come right back up to retest that area, and then we just continue right back down. But we can now actually just get like a real one, right? A real double top where you start to see the same exact thing happening over here, right? And then we continue right back down from here, retesting this low, and then we end up getting that support over here to continue up. Make sense?
Yeah.
So you're always like, and Kat, this is what I was talking to you about, right? Kind of muting yourself on here while you're on the live stream and just talking your way through it, writing things down if you want to. But, planning things out, understanding the probability of price coming up here, price, flipping bearish right here, right? And closing bearish below this level right here to then continue right back down and retest this low. Right? Like there's many different things that can happen over here. 15-minute, first half of the 15-minute, created that top wick. Now we're starting to flip bearish. Right?
Yeah, I guess I'm looking for buys above 1810-ish.
Good.
And then sells below that 1804 if we get something that makes sense, and then anywhere in between.
Okay.
I guess I'm trying to see it as a no trade range almost.
I'd really much rather get buys from over here. and then we could turn this into an intraday and swing trade, continuing right back up.
Right. I guess I'm just seeing that as like, yeah, like the second, like if we're able to break down and catch that move down anyways, eventually that could happen as well.
100%. %. 10 minutes for the 30-minute candle to close.
I guess the only thing that I like looking at the daily candle, because I've been trying to get into the habit of kind of looking at what price did within that range that we marked up, kind of thing. So yeah, like if we look at the daily and kind of compare it to what price has done in the past, or at least in like the most recent time. Yeah. Like, I know it's not always true, right? But like the whole mirroring of candles thing.
Yes.
Yesterday when I was looking at this, I was seeing this. Was it even? Okay, yeah. I was seeing this candle almost as a mirror of this candle. And then I was hoping to see this retracement, I guess. Didn't happen. But then because now I'm seeing like such a strong bullish move, like I'm wondering how far the pullback can be, I guess. Or if that's like how much within the realms of possibility that is. I guess we could definitely, like, if we get that pullback, it might look or end up looking like a wick. Is that thing just moving up?
Yeah, no, kind of like right over here where we closed above 1800 right here, and then we get the bottom wick past the high of that candle and just shot up. So could we get a retracement here, bottom wick tomorrow, and then we continue right back up? 4-hour candle starting to get a little bit weaker right up here, right? Starting to maybe possibly flip bearish and close bearish. 1-hour candle, right? We're kind of stalling out over here, but we are, holding a support so far. But is this like just a liquidity grab from the 8 a.m. push, and now we're starting to retrace from that, and then continue right back down to this area? Because we got 2 consecutive bearish strong candles over here that just closed at this key area, meeting up with the channel, meeting up with the area to the left. As you can see, this area right over here. 30-minute candle. Is this 30-minute candle going to close below over here? Right? And we end up getting our setup. This is a little bit long of a wick over here, but it is gold. So let's see if this can. I mean, we ended up closing below this level right over here with that candle. Strong bearish candle, creating a low. This candle pushed all the way up, closed right below that level. This candle pushed up, created a top wick. And now, are we going to close below that level right over here? Right? Get a 15-minute candle close. Next candle creates a top wick. Past the low of that candle right there. We could be heading down from there, and that could be our move.
Where? Sorry?
What was that?
You said that the which could be heading back down?
Well, we rejected this level multiple times. We created this low right over here. This candle creates a top wick, closes below that level, right? And then this candle creates a top wick, flips bearish, and it looks like we're going to be closing below that level. So hopefully we close below here. Next candle creates a top wick, retest, breaks the low, and continues right back down.
Looks like something's happening now.
Oh, yeah. Price is breaking the low over here. I'm not going to jump into this now that it's going quickly. Let's see the other time frames over here. Yes, 30-minute candles flipping bearish.
Right. I guess we're so close to the 30-minute that it just makes sense to wait for that 15, 30-minute close, right?
Yeah, 100%. We did get a nice strong 5-minute close just now.
Hmm.
This candle be coming up to retest that. Yeah, I think we may end up just dropping over here before 30-minute close. That's all right.
Right.
But right now, what we're doing is kind of retesting this consolidation over here. Right, we're kind of in this range on the 5-minute. Yeah, let's see what ends up happening here. My thing is like this is the 15-minute. What is your stop loss going to be all the way up here? Is it going to be up here? 15-minute hasn't even closed yet.
Right.
And if we miss this, we miss it. That's all right. It's amazing how much, like, if you go on vacation or you step away from the game for a little bit, you don't back test over the weekend, how rusty you feel. Like normally I probably would have gotten this one, the one that we first called out.
Hmm.
And then maybe I would have entered this one as well. You got to train your eyes and get warmed up first.
Yeah. You would have entered already, you mean, like right now?
I
As it had happened?
I probably would have entered as we passed the low over here with my
Mhm.
stop loss right around here. And I probably would have taken this one as well. I just, it's Tuesday. I wanted to just warm up a little bit. We're inside of this range.
Yeah.
This was on the 15-minute as well. Let's just see how this closes. But everything's been pretty much called out for you guys too, which is good. All right, GJ's holding that support over here too. So very messy price action. You're pretty much just waiting for rates on Thursday. I'm gonna do a little back testing today. Oh, Justin, you with us? Justin,
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, I'm here.
you're good. Have you seen this before? This rainbow chart for Bitcoin?
No, what is it?
It's pretty cool. It's somebody sent this to me. It's like an indicator basically for Bitcoin, for the way it moves and how, like, this is basically like basically a fire sale over here once you're in that blue. So that's where like most people are selling, most people are panicking. That's where you're going to be buying, right? Once you're in this oversold area in the red, right? That's most likely where you're going to get a nice sell off. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Um,
that's pretty cool.
I know I like this a lot. Yeah, pretty interesting. Send this into crypto real quick. Yeah, this, you know what? As price was passing, like when that happens, like really quick, I don't like taking a trade like oh my god, jump in real quick. You know how like this was like ranging around here for a little bit, and then all of a sudden we just passed the low. It almost was like we didn't get a chance to get in. Those are the times when prices moving that quick. I don't like to just like go crazy and just jump in. If that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Strong 30-minute close. Top wick rejection. Everything's been pretty much called to a T over here. We just not executing.
I'm just wondering though, like looking at the 15-minute with all that stuff to the left, despite the fact that like on the 1 hour it looks like it's fairly clean, if maybe that could cause some issues on the way down. Oh well, I mean, it's maybe happening.
What you talking about?
Because I was looking to enter right now at the 15-minute as it passed the low.
I'm
just
thinking
kind
of
of
that
iffy
too.
about that little range to the left.
Yeah, I'm looking at that too right now.
Like it could be cleaner.
Yeah, no, this candle barely has a bottom wick. We just passed the low of that candle. Very sticky area over here.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see it's coming back down to like 1801.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, we have major fundamentals coming out at 10 o'clock. So, you know, could we get a retracement over here, get some good numbers coming out, and then price holds resistance here and continues down to this area?
Mm-hmm.
See, this is a very dangerous area, Kat, where, you know, let's say we called out this trade, right? And you get a little bit of FOMO from this. It's like, all right, we'll wait for the retest over here. We didn't get the retest where we wanted. It came back into this area, wacky price action, and now you missed this one. So, you know, so far, right? We're not even at 1-to-1 yet on this trade if we were to take it with our stop loss up here. But this gets into dangerous territory where like now you just want to catch this. But I do see this playing out. This is something that you can lower your risk on a little bit. Yeah, right now I'm looking at this area now on the 1 minute. And see how we keep holding this support over here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what ends up happening from
Yeah.
here to here. All right, so now we're starting to break resistance, maybe on the 1 minute. So that candle is bullish, right? You would have gotten FOMO and gotten stopped out right over here already.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get that pullback here. But this is a great journaling day. This is a day where it's like, all right, we had two possible moves. One of them, maybe not. Like I'm not really getting too much FOMO from this anymore, right? This impulse entry.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something that like this one, you could definitely be journaling. And this gives you a good idea of like with gold, especially before the hour close, you definitely want to be closing most of your position because you'll get something like this that'll take you out and then we'll continue right back down. Makes sense?
For sure. So I guess it's just that little consolidation to the left that's enough.
This?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is wacky price action.
Right. I'm trying to see if it's able to like pass below 1801, which I feel like in order for it to break that full psychological number at this point in time, I mean, it could happen because of volume, but it could also be rejected.
It's amazing how much rust I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you take a step away from the markets for a couple days and you just get this rust. Anybody ever get that? Justin, you ever get that?
Yeah, I do. But at the same token, sometimes I need to step away just to kind of
Oh
refresh.
yeah, 100%.
know.
And it's definitely well warranted, and it's definitely something that you need to do over time. But and this happens with athletes a lot. I'm sure you can attest to this too, Justin, where like you're an athlete, you're doing really well, you hit a slump, you get injured, and then all of a sudden you come back a much better player because you get to watch the game from an outside view, from a different lens, right? Especially if you're a quarterback. By the way, what happened with those Browns?
Oh my goodness. It's
Busting my
every
balls about the
time-
Jets all year.
every time there's expectations, they fall flat in their face. I'm not sure why or anything, but
Yeah. It happens. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right. So I think what's going on over here is we're just waiting for. Yeah, GJ is really just ranging over here. It looked like what we were doing on GJ was holding or forming this support and continuing right back up to retest this high, but we kind of got that fake out over here. Price is right back into this range. So let's see how this 4-hour closes. Is it going to close bearish? Next candle creates a top wick, pass the low of that candle, continues right back down to this area, and that's where you can get those safe sells below 154,500. For a second, I thought I was muted that whole time. But we'll see. So far, we are holding the support over here.
so a trade that I had overnight was GJ sells, but I was doing it based off of the daily and weekly. It wasn't really lower time frames.
Okay.
So like, yeah, because it looks like you had the big leg down, right? And then you had a retracement up, and my my bias was that it was going to go down to at least retest the low of that wick. Looks like it's at about 153.
153. Well, this wick right here, like form
Yeah.
resistance here and continue down.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So, because like if you went to the weekly, if you went to the weekly, it looks like it double tap there, a double top all the way to come back down to eventually go down the 140 range. But I mean, that's a ways away unless you get a huge economic catalyst of some sort. But to me it just looks bearish.
Yeah, the only thing is we have fundamentals on the bullish side because of increase in rates, right? This is where they thought they were going to increase rates. Like they didn't even do it, and it pushed all the way up to 158. Then we came down to 149, hold support. They increased rates in December, and that pushes us all the way over here. So now they're preparing. We're getting in at a better price for an increase in rate hikes or a rate hike for us to continue right back up to 158 and possibly continue bullish, right? So right now I could see us maybe getting in at a better price down here, maybe doing a double top of this or double bottom of this area until Thursday, and then we continue right back up. Looks like we're starting to stall over here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get like a better area over here to buy in at, and then we continue right back up if we hold resistance right here and start to continue down. But safe sells below this area, safer sells below this area, and really safe sells below 153,900. But guys, with that being said, I am going to head off here. We did end up tapping into this area. Now we're starting to retrace a little bit. I would just be aware of gold until 10 o'clock because I wouldn't trade the news. Just trade the reaction to the news. Wait for your setups after that, and just be smart when it comes to taking your trades. All right. I think we get a new zone right over here.
All right, we'll see you guys later. Have a good day,
guys.
everybody.
Have a good one. All right.
All right, see you guys.
I have a good day.
You too.